Content.
Yeah.
Strategy.
Yeah.
Feedback.
Yeah.
Design.
Yeah.
And he's got way more, man. Yeah. He's your one-stop shop. Trade shows, expos, videos.
Expos and trade shows and videos. Expos and trade shows and videos.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 3, Extreme Marketing Podcast. I'm Nolan Davis. This is Bill Loft, and we're going to really start getting down into his 8 domains. Here's what I do know. I know the first 2 episodes, we were really giving you play-by-play, but we were kind of feeding you from a water hose situation, right? A fire hose, right? Giving you a lot of information, but we're now going to start breaking it down, and I got Bill here from Connecticut to give you all the details that you need. So if you're in trade shows, if you're thinking about getting into trade shows, get your pen and paper out right now, because we're going to show you how to stage your brand at any expo and trade show. Bill, I love what we're doing here. Talk to me about the first module.
First module is really about understanding the market in general that you are going to want to go to a trade show to be able to explore. And it's funny, you and I are here. I flew from Connecticut. Now, I have a very small studio my son Max put up to do green screen work in my basement.
Okay.
And conceivably, we have a pretty good quality camera. And you and I discussed this a little. You say, we could do this virtually, Bill, if it's too hard to get down here. But given the topic we're talking about, which is face-to-face marketing, it would not be the same. So that first domain being marketing, we want to understand everything we can about the market that we serve with our business as it appeals to the shows that we're looking for. So in this market assessment, we want to understand what shows are possible for us to go to. So we want to have in general an idea of what those opportunities are. We want to understand the audience that the show brings in, as well as the audience that we are trying to appeal to, so we find a show that is bringing in that audience. We possibly may want to find a show that their timing happens to be pretty good with us doing a product launch, because we may have 2 or 3 show opportunities throughout the year that we could go to start. Maybe we pick the one where we want to launch a new product, and maybe that has something to do with the calendar date. So there are all these things, but that really is all about understanding the market side.
Sure.
I love backing up and saying, before any of this, though, if there's a center of the circle of the 8 domains around it, the center of the circle is, what's the definition of our company? What's our purpose? What's our mission statement? Because everything that we do in the company derives from that. So always make sure that you're using your reason for being, your raison d'etre, if you want to say a terrible French accent, but your whole company's reason for existence really needs to be that initial square that you're going to move into that first domain from. And so then now you're looking at that marketing piece. We want to understand what the market is going to provide for us to be on target. If we go to a show and the audience sounds like it's on target with us, but it's not quite, it's a tremendous amount of time and expense to make that mistake. So this first marketing phase is for us to really fine-tune and justify the reason why we feel we need to go to a show or a series of shows to meet the marketplace. So it's an overall market analysis of where we can use face-to-face marketing as opposed to any of the other parts of the mix, especially to be able to reach our sales goals, our marketing goals. So that's what that first session is.
Okay. So from a resource standpoint, how do I know what shows are in my industry? Is it just industry-based, or is there a resource or app or a website that I can go to that'll list all the shows per industry? Is there something out there like that?
There is. as in Thomas, S as in Sally, N as in Nancy, N as in Nancy. TSNN, TradeShowNewsNetwork.com, has a list of almost all of the shows of any size, reasonable size within North America. There's a group called 10 Times, 10TIMES. 10times.com is a group of young people in India that have a list of just about every major meeting, symposium, and trade show in the world on their site.
Oh, wow.
Now, that can be daunting, but what their reason for being was originally, the folks that came up with 10 Times, is they wanted to enable you to meet people from around the world who were going to go to a symposium, go to a conference, go to an exposition somewhere in the world, so you could contact them ahead of time and get a chance to make sure you got FaceTime with these people, because you're going to be traveling quite a ways. And when you look at the number of trade shows that exist around the world, it'll blow your mind. We think we have a lot of shows here and in Europe. You should see the number of shows that are going on in Asia and in South America and in the Middle East. The globe is truly tuned into face-to-face marketing, as well as the electronic and other traditional means of marketing. Face-to-face is, it's regenerative coming back from COVID, because we're human beings.
Right. We are social.
We are social, and people need that. And it isn't all they're going to use. In fact, if you go to a trade show, you're going to have electronic media and marketing and promotion going on in your exhibit. So it's not like I go there face-to-face, we're not going to have anything done on the web. No. You're involving apps. You're involving presentations. You have
codes.
You have QR codes. You have a person doing a presentation who's in another location, and you're beaming them into a small theater on the show floor. You have people that are applying possibly for a job with your company, and they may be doing that on a digital website. And by the way, there's another thing. You don't go to trade shows just to sell stuff. You go to a trade show to find some new employees. You go to a trade show to find co-marketing opportunities. You can go to a trade show to have your good customers come to a spot on your exhibit that you printed a logo on, and have them stand there and have somebody with a phone take a testimonial from them. You come home from the show, you got 20 testimonials you can put on your social media now. What did that cost you? Nothing. What's the value? Thousands, tens of thousands of dollars of promotion from your customers, all in the same location. This is how we help you plan. And what we call this is ROO, objectives, not just ROI. Return on my investment? Yeah. But what about return on objective? How many new hires did I make at the show? What better place to find great talent than at the show that's got all the most talented people in an industry sector? But often people don't think that way. So that's why this marketing piece up front is something that I enjoy sitting down with companies like yours and talking to you on how you can do this. What's the best way for us to help you squeeze more value out of a show? So suppose I came back with 3 new hires, experts in the industry, and I hired them away from my competitors, and I got 20 testimonials. How much more money did I spend on that? Very little. But my return on objective, not investment, return on objective, suddenly has grown exponentially. And I have over 50 different items that you can consider to add as objectives for your show. So just be aware that in this one phase, when we talk about it, we may shake loose a money tree, an opportunity tree that you never knew was growing there, right in your back.
Right. Hey, if you guys are watching this right now and you feel like you don't have the marketing, you don't have the know-how, you're brand new to it, you've been doing it for a while, but you have some gaps and you don't know really what you've been missing, go to extrememarketingpodcast.com, fill out the form. We'll do a free consultation with you, and then we'll tell you what you need, and we can just kind of rock and roll and go from there. Anything else you want to say before you go, Bill?
No, I'd say that's really it. But remember, we want to start the conversation with that deep dive into the marketing aspect of your company and start to begin to generalize it. And start to begin to make it more specific to shows that you're going to choose in the next phase.
Man, I absolutely love it. If you guys are really tuned in with us, then you know who's coming up next. Charles Lewis, the SEO rapper, is going to give us some tips on how to get ranked, how to get your website to the top, and I'm going to talk to you about video marketing, and we'll be back right after this.
Exposing trade shows and videos.
Welcome to Extreme Marketing Podcast. We're coming back to end this episode 3, with the #1 action coach in the world, Doug Winnie. Doug, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me, Nolan.
Hey, man, you know what? The first 2 weeks have been rocking. Great information. This week, you're talking about guarantees and USPs. I feel like I'm a poet over here and don't even know it. USPs and guarantees, one or the other. Tell me all about it.
Right. So, first thing is, industries were built on guarantees. And so think of, you're old enough to know this, 30 minutes are free.
Oh, Domino's.
All right. Did you get any of those free pizzas?
I did not.
I got a few.
Did you?
I did, yeah. And so did it bankrupt them?
No.
No. Did it create an entire industry? It did. The entire industry was created because of one silly 30 minutes are free guarantee. And so you think about it. Here's another one. When it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight. Do you remember that one? FedEx.
Boom.
Again, multiple companies now deliver overnight. And now I ask the question, when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight. Some people go, UPS? Like, no, actually it's FedEx. But that created an industry because everybody delivers overnight.
Right.
And so if you can think of why people don't do business with you, right? If you think about it, what's the reason? What's the fear they have? With me, the fear is, well, what if it doesn't work? I'm a business coach. What if it doesn't work? Because I charge a lot. And so the reality is we guarantee it.
Right.
We guarantee a return of that investment in 17 weeks, or coaching is free. Right? So what is it that people are fearful of in buying from you? Could you figure that out and turn it into a guarantee? A marketing company. What if they guaranteed the leads come in?
Right.
A lot of marketing companies could, because they're that good. And they just like, well, but it might not work. Well, then what are you selling? Right? Here in America, you're not happy at the restaurant. The food you just didn't like. What does the restaurateur do?
Take it back.
They take it back. They give you money back.
Yes.
They give you money back pretty regularly. Now, the rest of the world, I've learned it's not quite that way. But anyway, here in America, there's always this food guarantee. You like it. Matter of fact, if you don't love it, we'll take it off the bill.
Right.
And so,
Or give you a new dish.
or give you a new dish, or sometimes both.
Yeah.
I've been to some nice steak restaurants, and they're like, yeah, it wasn't cooked right. Absolutely. Here's a new one. And by the way, we took it off. Oh, and here's some dessert too. Right. They want you to be ridiculously happy. They want you to be a raving fan.
Yes.
Right. It's not about the one transaction. It's about multiple transactions for restaurants. So what kind of guarantee could exist in the business based on the fear of people have with you? So you may have done this. I did it not even long ago, probably a month ago. Right? There was some socks. I was buying socks. And you know what it had on it?
A guarantee.
A lifetime guarantee.
Right.
Now, we might buy it because of that, but how often am I going to say, oh, these socks now have a hole in it? Where's that doggone receipt? And send it back for a new repair. A new pair.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So the probability is also low of people calling people out on the guarantee. So we want people to have, all businesses to have a nice guarantee. Now, I've worked with some financial services companies, right? So they handle your stock trading and your money. And so I always love this question. I said, might meet them in networking and say, hey, can you guarantee anything? You know what they say?
No.
No, we can't guarantee anything.
Right.
And I'm like, well, do you have any fixed income, fixed interest things that are like guaranteed at 4% right now? And like, oh, yeah. So then I'm like, you can guarantee stuff. well, I can guarantee that, but I can't guarantee more than that. I'm like, well, why don't you answer yes for certain products?
Right.
Because they actually do have a guarantee on certain products. So it's really interesting how a guarantee can really make a big difference. Not long ago, there was a guarantee that a company would guarantee they would sell your house in 30 days or they'd buy it from you.
Right.
If you need to get your house sold in the next 30 days, I'd go with that company rather than another company. So guarantees can be really, really very powerful. And sometimes it's just, I guarantee return a phone call in a day, or we guarantee to return your email in a day. One of my former clients guaranteed the lowest interest rate. So he was doing home mortgages, and he would guarantee the lowest interest rate, or he'd buy you $100 dinner.
Got it.
So how many leads would he get because of that?
Right.
A lot.
So as you bring up the sock situation, right? So when we look at the guarantee, here's the thing. They know, like you said, nobody's going to keep the socks. And I don't really know if they had like some fine print, like must clip toenails monthly. Like I think that's what's busting the holes in socks these days. But you all automatically, subconsciously think the quality of these socks is on a whole nother level because they gave me the lifetime guarantee.
Absolutely.
Automatically. So if I had 2 pairs of socks that I was going to choose from, even if this one cost a little bit more, in my mind, it would be justified because they have a lifetime guarantee in this sock, knowing I'm not going to keep the receipt and send it back 8 years from now, right? So that's definitely a great way to put the customer at ease to make the purchase, but also to give you the insight of, or to paint a picture of quality because we have that guarantee at the same time.
Yeah, it's there's so much psychology in marketing and sales, right? And this is one of those things you just pointed out, is that people will have an increased confidence because of a guarantee.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and by the way, Domino's doesn't have the 30-minute guarantee anymore,
Right.
but they have a quality guarantee. If you don't love it, return it and they give you money back. And they've gotten pretty good. Not here to endorse them, but I'm pretty happy with it.
Right. That's why I'm from Chicago, Doug.
Yes. Detroit.
Right. So I can't go out here with willy-nilly pizza like Domino's when Lou Malnati's and Giordano's and Gino's East, all of those exist in Chicago, my friend. So, yeah. So that's why I never had any of those free pizzas. So USP, what is all of that about?
A USP. So USP, unique selling proposition. So if you don't have a uniqueness, then you're going to have to sell on price. And if you sell on price, you're going to have a low margin business. If you have a low margin business, you've got to have a high volume business to survive. So what's going to be unique about me? Well, I've built businesses, I've sold businesses, I've bootstrapped businesses. So a uniqueness about me as a business coach is I've done it, right? I've done it. I've got the experience of building multi-million-dollar businesses. I've sold them. So that's one of my uniquenesses. Another one of my uniquenesses is my parents were entrepreneurs and they failed. They were relatively broke. We got kicked out of our homes 9 different times in 12 years and both died penniless. And so when you think about the difference between me being a successful entrepreneur and them not, I learned how to grow businesses. So that's another uniqueness. So when I go out there and I do marketing, I talk about my uniquenesses because there's a lot of business coaches out there. And there's absolutely business coaches out there that charge less than me. I found a few that charge more than me. But the reality is I'm not lowballing. I'm generating high returns on investment. And this is part of my uniqueness. Of course, I guarantee it. So when I go out and I meet people, I want to know what's going to be unique about them. Most often, people say customer service and best price.
Right.
And I say, if I'm in a coaching mode, most of the time I am, is can your competition say that? They give great customer service and they are good on price. If you are looking at your competition and your competition can do the same marketing as you are not unique. And then you're going to only win on price. And we're back to a low margin business, must be a high volume business, and you don't really survive very long. So have a uniqueness, create it. We even have something called the USP Guarantee Questionnaire. We get people thinking, what is the challenges in your industry? Why would, what is it they want to hear? What does the market want to hear? And really think through, what does the market want to hear? Could you create a business around what they need to hear? Yes, you probably can. You might have to do some things. You might have to buy about a bunch of airplanes. You might have to, send everything to, is it Atlanta? FedEx packages? I think Atlanta.
I think it is.
Every package. I'm going to ship one from my house to your house. It's going to Atlanta first.
Right.
And we live in the same city. So, that's part of that uniqueness, part of their guarantee, part of their system that allowed them to be who they are.
So you talk about this questionnaire, right? I'm curious. I know we're going to share information. Can I put the questionnaires on the website that people can actually click on and answer a couple of the questions and things like that? With you being a coach, I know you have all of these different tools to generate thoughts, because my thing is, one of the things that I'm learning as a father, which is kind of like a coach, right? We coaching our kids to a certain degree.
Sure.
Is that I can't give a full solution without knowing the full problem, right? So when I'm asking questions and my kids are looking at me like, you should assume this, and this is like, I need to know. I need to know every piece of it so I can figure out how I can help you. And you do this really well from a conversation standpoint, but I know you guys have tools. Can we put some of those questionnaires on the website?
Love to. Yeah, absolutely.
Boom. Right here, EMP. Anything you want to say before we go, sir?
Well, I'm going to say this because it's critical. If you don't act on the knowledge, you're smarter, but not wealthier. Knowledge becomes valuable when you act on it. So be sure you go out and act and let us know that it's working or you're having challenges with us. We'd love to chat with you, love to learn about what it is that's working or not working for you.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 3 EMP, and it's Dougie and me. I don't know. I feel like I'm freestyling right now. Hey, until next time, love to live to love, and be well.
Exposing trade shows and videos.
All right, we're back. This is episode 2, continuation of episode 1. So this is part 2 for Charles Lewis as we talk about digital marketing. And this time we're talking about search engine optimization, which is SEO with the SEO wrapper. Charles, how are you, sir?
I'm great, man. In fact, I'm phenomenal.
Phenomenal. You can only get that here on this show. Phenomenal. You know what I mean? So last time you gave us just 2 tips out of the 10, right? And I want to kind of recap those tips and then go into the other 8.
Okay, perfect. So 10 basic SEO tips, right? Number 1 was set up Search Console. Search Console is the main conduit between you and Google, right? This is how Google can manage your site, and you can manage what Google thinks about your site from Search Console, right? So that's kind of tip number 1. Set that up so you can have that connection there.
Right.
Number 2 was improve your site speed, right? And so want to make sure that your website isn't a dinosaur. You want to make sure that it's loaded up quickly, regardless of the type of device that it's being viewed on, right? You want to make sure that your images and videos and other content aren't heavy, but that the site loads up in a nice, efficient, fast manner that's very user-friendly, right? So point number 2, improve your site speed. Point number 3 brings us back to Search Console, right?
Okay.
And that is a URL submission. Your URL, that's your domain name, that's your website address / whatever the page is, right? So nolandavis.com/about us is the URL, right?
Right.
Or nolandavis.com/step up radio, right? Is a URL, right? And so as you create content, maybe you're a small business owner, maybe you are a HVAC guy, right? So yourcompany.com/AC repair, right? That's your URL. You want to submit that URL to Google.
So you're submitting every single page.
Absolutely.
That way. So however you set up your navigation for your website. So if I'm a baker and I got one page about cookies, another page about cakes, and all of my cookies is on one page and all of my cakes, I have to submit each page to Google Console so it could recognize it.
Exactly.
Okay.
You don't have to, but you should.
Okay. All right.
Because most people don't, because they don't know, right?
Right.
And so that's why you don't have to, and your site will be live, and if people type it in, they can find it. But if you want people to go to pie baker near me, right?
Right.
You want someone to do that in a Google search, then you want to make sure that that page has been submitted to Google, so Google can possibly show it when people search.
Right.
Right? If they don't know the page exists, then they can't show it. So let's keep it moving. And you brought up a good point, because the point you just made it really leads to the next point. Point number 4 would be create links from other pages.
Okay.
Right? Create links from other pages. Most important, here's the pro tip. Your pages that actually have good performance, right? If you have a page on your site that's already ranking well, you want to create links from that page to your other pages, right? That way they can receive some of that link juice, but they can receive some of that engagement, because Google already has the high value page on your site. That's why they're ranking it, right? And so if you create new content, then you want to link from that page. So an example you just gave, right? Let's say your pies page is ranking pretty well.
Right.
But you got a cookies page that's not doing so well. You got a cakes page that's not doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
You want to link those pages together.
So it'll rub off.
So it'll rub off. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
We'll call that passing link equity or rub off. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's how you want to link those pages together.
And because you the SEO rapper, you said the link juice. I think she won't be for my link juice. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's literally how Google is looking at it.
Right.
It's literally how Google is looking at it. Like, why would we rank this pies page? Man, because it got link juice from the cake page.
Right.
And everybody loves this cake page. This cake page is showing up number 3 in Google. This cake page gets a bunch of activity on social. This cake page has a bunch of comments. This cake page has a bunch of links to it. So, and it's linking to the pie page. Let's show the pie page some look.
Now, here's the thing. For the people that are just bakers that we're talking,
Yeah, these are examples.
right. These are examples, but for the baker that is thinking, I have a website and I need my website to rank. What we're saying also is that each individual page can rank and not just the full website.
Exactly.
Right? So if you think about it, you can use Google Analytics. Is that one of your tips?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So we can use Google Analytics to see what page is ranking the best, how it's ranking, how it's performing, and then that way you can hook it up to the link juice.
Yep. And so Google Search Console, if we go back to point number 1, right? Once you've established that, Google Search Console is where you're going to log in to actually see if this page is ranking,
Right.
what position it's in, guys, in comparison to the other pages. So let's stick to content number 1 and keep it moving. Number 5.
Okay.
Right, number 5, along the same thread, you want to add new content, right?
Right.
You want to add new content, especially as your business grows. You're creating new services, you create new products. Maybe your business has new experiences. You acquired a new location. You hire some new people.
Press releases.
Right. Like, you just want to always add new content. And then when you add new content, refer to previous step 4. If it's applicable to link to one of the better performing pages, link that page, right? But you always want to add new content and then follow steps 2 and 3, right? Because once you add new content, then you're going to have a new URL. I'm going to go back and go ahead and submit that URL,
Right.
And so now Google knows this new content exists. The other benefit to that is ownership. And that's not even one of the tips. This is another pro tip that just hit me. Google respects original content. Right. And so if I write this content and I submit it and I upload my URL to Google, now Google knows that my domain name had this content first.
Right.
Right. So if somebody else decides to rip my content or write something similar or do whatever, we're listed as the original content source because we submitted it to the index first.
Mhm.
Right. So that's the other kind of importance for that URL submission. So number 4 was link to the important pages. Number 5 was add new content. Here's the key one that most people struggle with. Number 6, update the old content.
Okay, so
Update
so
the old
okay,
content.
if we're giving new content, is that not updating?
No, that's new content. I'm saying update your old content.
Right. So when you say, okay, so just for clarification,
Yeah, absolutely.
purposes, so new content is a new page.
New page. So I see what you're saying and where you could where the sauce could get lost at. Technically, yeah. If you went to like your old About Us page, right? And let's say since you wrote that page 5 years ago, y'all moved, y'all acquired a new location.
We got new people.
Yeah, new people.
Right. And we just add those people.
That's updating new content.
Right.
That's correct.
Updating new content.
Exactly.
But then new content is coming up with other pages that we need to add to the website.
Exactly.
Right. So would a blog suffice for that?
Yes. Absolutely.
So is that new content or is that updating? Because a blog is almost a feed.
The blog is new content because each blog post has a whole new URL.
Got you.
It's a whole new page, right? Like how to create the best peanut butter cookies if we stay relevant to our baking example, right? That's a blog post. And
Right.
then you realize from doing your research that, oh snap, people really like this blog post. Okay, we're gonna spit it out. How to make crunchy peanut butter cookies. Another blog post. How to make chewy peanut butter cookies. Another blog post, right? Now these are 3 different links that's supporting our main peanut butter cookies page, right? Because that's the page we want to rank. These other pages are just supporting content.
Right. I want to take this time right now to give a big shout out to my brother Zeke. Me and my brother Zeke literally
Peanut butter cookies?
wrestled in the floor for my grandmother's peanut butter cookies, right? Like literally it was mayhem. Like my grandmother was screaming, "Stop." That's how good the peanut butter. I don't know if it was crunchy. I don't know if it was chewy. I don't know what he was talking about. I just know that they were absolutely delicious to where I wanted to body slam my brother to eat all the cookies. So now that we got that out the way.
Understand? Look, Cookie Monster, right? So we'll keep it moving. We're talking about updating the old content, right?
Right.
Now, point number 7 is one way that's really effective in updating the old content. And that's the addition of what's called rich media. So rich media would be defined as any type of media that's accessible online and viewable, right? So videos, images, audio, all of these supporting visual things are called rich media,
Okay.
right? And Google says on their blog that content pages with corresponding rich media have a higher chance of ranking, right? And so what that means is if this how to make a peanut butter cookie blog post has a supporting video, right, with you showing them how to make this,
Right.
then Google is going to rank that page higher, right? Because now it has rich media. You want to add some more rich media. We're going to put a downloadable PDF with the directions, right? And like opt-in
Recipe. Right.
Exactly, right? And so now Google said, man, they got a recipe that people can download and a video. More rich media. Oh, you know what? We're going to add a whole photo gallery just showing the steps and the products and the peanut butter we use to just show you a slideshow on how we did it as well.
Right. Or pictures of 2 brothers fighting over
Yeah,
the
end result.
Right. Of how delicious these cookies are.
And so, yeah, that would be called, that's the press, right? That's the press. So when you're running the campaign, right, you got the product, you got marketing, you got press. That's the press.
Right.
But you got the press on this page as well. A testimonial is what that really is on how good the cookies actually are, right?
Right.
And so now you got this page that gives you the instructions on how to do it, got a video showing you how to do it, has a slideshow photo gallery of pictures of it being made, got a video testimonial of brothers fighting over how good it was, and a downloadable PDF with the directions. If you search for how to bake a peanut butter cookie, what page you think Google's gonna show?
Right.
Right? And that's the point I'm making. Is like you want to have rich media, you want to have all of this content on your page so it can rank when people go search for it. Because again, we're talking about when people search, right? Again, this search engine optimization. So that's point number 7. Number 8.
Hold on. Before we get to 8, I just want to let you know that this is a great checklist for people when you're trying to build your website. How many of these ways or how many elements of content can you put on each page after hearing this information? Because we always think we need a picture, we need If we can get a video, that's great. We definitely need the content written, and most people are going to Chat GPT or whatever the case may be. But when you really start thinking about all the elements that we could put on the page to support the information that we're putting just so you can rank higher, it's definitely a checklist. Check the box.
And then I would encourage people to not be intimidated by the checklist. Understand, this is not you don't necessarily have to launch like this. You can launch your blog post with just your directions.
Right.
And then next week, add your video. Then the week after that, add your slideshow, because in Google's mind, these are updates. I just said update your content.
Right.
These are updates. And so if I wait every 30 days and do that, right?
Right.
30 days later, I added the PDF. 30 days after that, I added the slideshow. 30 days after that, I added the fight testimonial of my guys fighting over whose cookie was the best, right?
Right.
Those are monthly updates to the same page.
Boom.
Right? And so you don't necessarily need to be intimidated by, I need to do all this stuff in order to create this page.
Exactly.
Right? No, you just start. Just start, right?
Right.
And with the basics and grow on it. And so that was number 7, fam.
Okay.
Add rich media. Number 8 is more applicable to those who may, let's say this is a local bakery, right?
Okay.
And so now they're not searching for how to make peanut butter cookies. They're looking for buy a dozen peanut butter cookies near me.
Right.
They want to pick these up. You want to make sure your Google business profile is established, right? And so formerly known as Google My Business, now it's kind of going as a GBP, Google Business Profile, right?
Okay.
And so, but it's the same thing.
Okay.
It's the same thing. You want to go to Google, search for your business name, and then in the map listing, you will see your result, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't own it or claim it, then you will see an option to claim this business.
Right.
You want to click claim this business, go through the verification process, usually a phone call or a postcard that they'll mail to the address they have verified, and then you claim your business, right? Once you have your business claimed, now you're cooking, right? Because now we've already set up Search Console, right? And so Google knows your website exists. Now you set up Google Business Profile. Now they know you actually have a physical location associated with that domain name.
Right.
Right. So now we're cooking. They're like, okay, we can show him in 2 different places. We can show him in the map section,
right,
or the organic section, right? Because he's applicable for both. And so if that search is peanut butter cookies near me, right, you want to have your Google business page set up, and in your services area, you want to mention the fact that you sell peanut butter cookies, that you sell cakes, that you sell pies, that you do catering, that you provide custom whatever wedding cake, whatever your services are. You want that in the services area specifically,
right? Okay.
In the description. Description, you want your summary, right? Such and such as a bakery owned by blah 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 blah, woman owned, black owned, blah 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 blah, specializing in blah 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 blah.
Right.
Right. Quick summary and quick SEO tip. You want to make that summary as identical to the summary you're using on the meta description on your website homepage. Pro tip.
Got you.
Pro tip, right? Just more synergy for Google to understand, like, that's definitely him.
Right.
So, yeah, so that was Google Business Profile. If you're a local business, definitely want to set that up.
Okay.
2 more. Number 9, on the same strength of Google Business Profiles, once you have that one set up and it's completely configured, right? You got all your services there. You got your hours of operation there. You got your payment types there. You got your address there, your phone number there. If you offer any coupons, like all of that's there.
Mm-hmm.
You want to rinse and replicate that for the other 1,000 profiles on the internet, right? And I'm kind of being sarcastic, but not really when I say 1,000, right? Because there's probably more than 1,000. But the sarcastic part is, the reality is, you really want to focus on probably the top 10, right? If you can, there are software we can use that they ain't paying us, I ain't gonna say them, that you can use that would replicate it for all of these different profiles for you. But at a minimum, you want to make your Google business profile, all that information, and replicate it with your Bing profile, right? Because at the end of the day, people search Bing, and Bing isn't going to return Google results. It's going to return their own results. And so you want to have your Bing places. With Google, it's Google business profile. With Bing, it's called Bing places. right? You're going to set up a Bing Places profile that's going to ask you the same questions. Hours of operation, what's your services, what's your products, same exact information. Matter of fact, Bing Places will allow you to import it from Google. Right?
Gotcha.
And once you log in. So not only Bing, but you're an iPhone user, right?
Yes.
If you do a local search on iPhone, it's going to pull a result from Apple Maps. It's a whole nother business profile listing. And so you need to claim your Apple profile, right? And put the same information, your services, your hours of operation, your business, your location, your phone number, all of that stuff. So that's Google, that's Bing, that's Apple, Foursquare, Facebook. All of these platforms have business profiles.
Right.
That we're talking, and I mentioned at the beginning of part 1, I said all of these places were also search engines. Right. And so the key is making sure your profile is available for the search engine, especially if that search engine has their own kind of listing management deal, like Google Business, like Bing Places, like Apple Maps, like Foursquare, like Waze, like it's so many of them, MapQuest, like the Yellow Pages, like Super Pages, like all of these directories, right? Like BBB. Like,
do you have a list of all of these directories?
On SEOrapper.com.
Okay.
You go look at the best SEO rapper, the SEO Rapper podcast for 10 tips for SEO. Yeah, list is there, the link is there, all of that's there.
Okay. All right.
But yeah. So there's software, right, that you can purchase, that you can use, that'll take your Google profile and spin it to 1,000 different directories. I use it for most of my clients, right?
Gotcha.
And I'm working on affiliate strategy. So anyway, but at a minimum, you want to claim those top 10, right?
Right.
Because that just helps you across the board. And the signal to Google, that's the last tip, right? The signal to Google.
This is number 10.
Well, that's number 9. I'm about to do the last tip. Okay, last tip is really simple. But the signal to Google is that his name, address, and phone, your NAP, probably heard that before, your name, address, and phone is consistent across all properties. That's a very important signal to Google, right? Almost as important as how fast your site is. Right. Yeah. Is your name, address, and phone consistent? Just think about it. If I'm searching for peanut butter cookies near me and Google got you at this address, Apple got you at your old address where you moved from, Bing got your home address listed when you first started the business, right? And you haven't updated them. Right. Google has lost faith in where you really at, right? And so they're not going to show it at all. And you'll be searching like, man, I'm not showing up in the maps, because Google don't think that's really you, right?
Right.
So if we clean our profile, right, so now we're the same across the board, that's a vote of faith for Google. Because now they don't mind showing the Yelp listing because they know it's consistent with theirs. They don't mind showing the Facebook listing in the Google result because they know it's consistent with theirs. Right. And the Facebook listing may be more a suitable result. Right. Depending on their search, who do I know that likes peanut butter cookies? Right. Oh, now I got to show you social media. So because you literally asked, who do I? Right. And so now we finna get Facebook results, Twitter results. We're going to get stuff that we logged into, which is the last point. Share socially. At the end of the day, social media signals are an indirect signal that feeds the Google ranking. Right. How else can we get traffic to our site without paying for it? Right. We're talking SEO, not SEM, not marketing, not paid ads. We're not talking Google ads. We're not talking sponsored posts. We're talking search engine optimization. And one of the keys to improving your ranking is getting website activity. Right. Website engagement. How many pages did they visit? Which page did they look at? Which click path did they take? More importantly, how did they get there? Right. And so sharing socially. So as you create that blog post, right, how to prepare cookies, and we got this amazing blog post with videos on it and a recipe on it and this and that. We're going to share this. You tweet it out. We post it on Facebook. We take that same video that's already on YouTube, right, and we put it on our site. We're going to maybe bust it down into clips and share those clips across TikTok and Instagram, everything with links back to the blog post, right? So now we're getting traffic from YouTube because this blog post link is in the description. We're getting traffic from Facebook because this blog post link is in the caption. We're getting traffic from Twitter because this blog post link is in the post, right? And we're sharing the video and we're sharing our images. We got a whole slideshow of images, right, that we can post on TikTok with the link back to our blog post. right?
Right.
And so that's the last tip is after you've created all this content and you've optimized it and you submitted it to search and you've submitted it to Google and Search Console has it, like you've done all of these things, you connected it to your Google business page, let's share it socially, right?
Right.
Share it socially so everybody can see it, and now you can actually get traffic to the page to see all of the work you do.
Right.
That's 10 tips, SEO tips, man. 10
Right.
basic SEO tips.
Hey, so you did your video, or we played your video last week, right? So for those that didn't see it, go to episode 1. Check out episode 1 so you can watch the video, hear the song. All 10 tips are in the song. Anything you want to say before you go?
No, I would just say be encouraged, right? A lot of people be intimidated by SEO just because it's a lot, right? And it's a lot of different directions you can go. But the one value that I share with people is that Google appreciates longevity. They appreciate consistency. And so don't be intimidated by the amount of work. It's okay to do it in pieces, right? It's okay to do it in pieces. Matter of fact, doing it in pieces will serve you better in the long run from the ranking perspective, right?
Absolutely.
Versus trying to eat it all up front and do it once. Because now you got this one page that's fully updated and it's not getting.
And that's a good thing to know, man. That is definitely a good thing to know. So, hey, I'm coming back with some video tips, and then we're going to end with Doug Winnie. I want to thank you for being a part of EMP. We'll be right back after this.
Exposing trade shows and videos.
All right, guys, here's the last point of the day is your video tip. And today we're talking about using video for your brand storytelling. It's all about building a brand. So many times people think that the brand is the little logo or the symbol or the icon, but it's really the story that you tell your people about you. And sometimes the story can encompass your testimonials. It can talk about milestones, things that you guys are doing, the things that you guys have accomplished, or new products and services that you guys are developing. Your brand story is great for social media and to put on your website as well. And it paints a full picture of who you are. I want to thank Doug, I want to thank Chuck, and I want to thank Bill for the information that they gave us today. And we're always trying to help you push the envelope and maximize what you're able to do in your business from a marketing standpoint. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all social media. I'm Nolan Davis. This was EMP, Extreme Marketing Podcast. And until next time, love to live to love, and be well.